Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today I'm featuring two violins. So we sell the Yale violins and they're available in a lot of different variations. I wouldn't necessarily say grades of violins. They're mostly variations of violins because violins at this level that are meant for advanced players, the differences between the instruments in terms of what you like is perhaps more subjective than objective, really. So the thing about Yales is that they're all made with the most premium wood, right? So when you get into this, top echelon of instrument, you are getting the best wood, the most select spruce, the most select beautiful AAA maple on the back and the sides. You're getting the best, highest quality fittings. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you could see these same fittings in $1 million, Strad, right? So you really have the best of the best. And most importantly, the interior carvings of the instrument have been done by a master luthier who has spent a lot of time carving the insides of the instrument to make sure all these thicknesses, all over the graduations, they're all customized to that particular piece of wood. Because every wood is unique, every wood is different, because it used to be a living thing, right? So the thicknesses and graduations have to be coordinated in relationship to the nature of that particular piece of wood. So that's what you're going to get. You're paying for that time. You're also going to get a beautiful piece of wood, obviously. You're going to get a beautiful finish, the highest quality European oil finish, and of course, the setup is going to be great. So with these particular violins, now we have a lot of different Yales. I got these two violins in this video just to talk about a couple different things. So some of the Yales are based on a Stradivarius design, right? Like this one right here. This is a Stradivarius design, kind of a typical Stradivarius design. This one is a Guarneri, right? So the two most copied violins in the violin world are the Strads and the Guarneris. Now, as a gross generalization, the Strads generally will have a little bit bigger sound. They'll project a little bit better, but the sound often is a little brighter, but still sweet. The Guarneris oftentimes will have a little bit more dark sound, right? A lot of times it's easier to produce that dark or sweet sound, but they often are not quite as projective. But like I said, that's a gross generalization because there's a ton of exceptions to the rule. Believe it or not, there's bad Stradivariuses and there's amazing Stradivariuses. Same with Guarneri. And every violin is different. So if you're thinking about getting a Yale violin or one of our other, Master Series violins like a Zubok or a Vidicek or something like that, I highly recommend you use our in-home trial program. So you are able to get two violins at the same time, and you're just basically paying for shipping. So we'll send you a couple of violins, and now you have, a month and a half, play the violins to your heart's content, right? And eventually, now as the violins get broken in, as you get to know the violins, the winner, your violin that you're going to fall in love with will reveal itself pretty quickly. So it's a very inexpensive way. If you're not able to go into our shop here in Vancouver, you can try out two violins and find out which one, subjectively is the one that is meant for you, okay? Now, I'll just mention one thing about our setup. So in case you didn't know, which is hard to believe because I repeat this a lot in my videos, here at Kennedy Violins, one thing that makes us different is that we do the final assembly and setup here in Washington State. Now, the other thing that's, of course, unique about us is that violins like the Yales, we can sell these for a heck of a lot less than your average violin shop because we purchase them directly from the makers. Okay, so we don't go through trading companies, wholesalers, distributors. Almost every violin shop does that. We don't. I personally get on a jet plane and I fly to other countries. I meet with the luthiers. I play test the violins myself. A lot of times I'm telling them, this is the kind of violin I want. I want this kind of wood. I want this kind of finish. I want it antiqued or not. This is the kind of fittings I want. I want a Guarneri copy. I want a Strad copy or whatever. So we're able to customize it. But most importantly, because we're not going through a middleman, we're able to sell the violins at a lot lower prices. That's pretty important. But like the other thing that I mentioned, as even though they're set up, they're built by a master luthier that we buy directly from, the guy who holds the chisel, We also set the violins up in Washington State. So when you order your violin, if you want it customized, you want a different fine tuner, you want a different tailpiece, you want different, whatever it is, you let us know. Most of the time it doesn't cost anything extra. We're going to set that violin up the way you want it. And most importantly, it's going to be set up right before you receive it. So it's going to be ready to go. Most of the time it's going to be pretty darn in tune by the time you get it, right? So you're going to get a full outfit. You're going to get a case, a bow, a rosin. It's going to be a nice bow. It's going to be a nice professional quality rosin. It's going to be a professional quality case. It's going to be full suspension. It's going to be a full oblong case. So it's going to offer the maximum amount of protection for your instrument. And, it's beautiful, which helps, right? And it's also going to have tons of storage. So you're going to be able to put all your accessories in there that probably came with the violin, and the picture of your Aunt Viola, as well as your sheet music, okay? So anyway, I highly recommend, like I said, if you're going to be buying one of these instruments, do the in-home trial. If not, make sure you put on, really nice strings on here. Play the violins as much as you can, because they are brand new. They got to be broken in a little bit. Play them as much as you can. In a month of practicing, they're going to completely transform. After 6 months or a year, these violins are going to sound absolutely amazing. So if you guys have any questions about these violins or any other violins, give us a call anytime. At Kennedy Violins, we're players and teachers. This is what we do. The whole shop is staffed by people who play professionally and teach. So we know what we sell. So you just let us know what you want. What kind of violin do you want? What is your background? And we're going to match you up with a violin that you're going to fall in love with. So with that, I'll bid you guys adieu, and you guys have a great day.